pound best fighter in the sport of boxing right now. It's good to see him in this position. In the position.
After their recent heated exchange, Floyd Mayweather visited Tank's camp and even stepped in the ring with him for a few rounds of light work. The old tension between them seems to have cooled for now, and Floyd made it clear he's not there for drama, he's there for business. According to Floyd, being part of Tank's camp ahead of Jake Paul just made sense. He's fought Logan Paul himself, so he knows exactly what kind of challenge Jake Paul brings to the table.
It's similar to Logan versus Mayweather, but Jake Paul now obviously is way more advanced than where Logan was at.
When asked how he thinks the fight plays out, he assured that Tank wins easily. Listen, size has never beaten skill in boxing. If someone has good defense and skill, then you just can't get to them. His brother didn't get to me, and he was brawling. Alongside Calvin Ford, he has seen Tank grow from a kid with raw power to one of the slickest, most efficient finishers in boxing, and he's proud of that. Things may have been rocky between them before, but Floyd said it all comes down to respect, especially now that they're older. That's why he's back with Calvin Ford, making sure Tank goes in sharp and leaves no doubt when that bell rings.
I think it's going to be a great event. Every time I fight is fireworks. Jake Paul coming in, he's much bigger, he's much stronger.
Calvin Ford, who's been with Tank from the start, isn't losing sleep over this matchup either. He's already seen Tank handle big guys in the gym for years, so Jake Paul's size doesn't scare him. Calvin has continued to emphasize his only concern ahead of this fight, the gloves. Ford doesn't want Tank in those Big 12 training gloves. "We don't fight in 12s, he said. "That's for sparring." He wants Tank in 8s and Jake in 10. That way it's fair, and the fight actually looks like a fight, not a gym session. He's even talked to one of Jake's people about it, but they didn't want to mix and match. To Ford, that's fine, but if Jake wants to prove something, he should stop hiding behind exhibition rules. "Let him wear the 10s, we wear the 8s, then we gotta fight," Ford said.
My only concern is, the gloves. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. We don't use 12-ounce gloves. That's training gloves, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's 2 pounds.
As for the weight difference, both Floyd and Ford brushed it off like it's nothing. Jake's sitting around 190 or 195, maybe 5 pounds more than what they originally discussed. But Ford didn't blink. "We signed the contract. We're going to make it do what it do," he said. That's been the Tank mindset from day one. It doesn't matter who's bigger, taller, or louder. Once that first punch lands, the ring starts to shrink real fast. One thing still hitting Tank's corner, though, is his avoidance of his rematch with Roach.
Paul brings something to media and to boxing. You cannot miss a fight. I like it, baby. I like the drama it's bringing. I'll be honest.
But nobody really cares about this fight.
Yeah, are you gonna watch it?
Yeah, of course. That's how it's gonna go. Nobody really cares, but everybody's gonna watch it.
Tank makes people famous, Calvin said in response. Roach was a nobody before. To him, that whole conversation is nonsense. If any of those top names had gotten the same offer Tank did, they'd have taken it without thinking twice. Ford's not about to let anyone guilt-trip his fighter for chasing the bag. That's just boxing business first.
Bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them.
Will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were to beat him or even knock him out?
Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion, 4-time 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from.
Bro, you can't be mad at somebody for doing what they feel is best for them. Will it impact Tank's legacy if Jake Paul were to beat him or even knock him out? Dude, Tank's a 3-division world champion. 4-time, 3-division world champion. At the end of it, bro, you can't take anything away from him.
I believe that this is a mismatch, and I believe that Jake Paul will not take the result. Maybe in the 3rd, maybe in the 4th round. Tank will try to move, he will try to stick and move. It's not gonna work out for him, and he will eventually get knocked out.
Meanwhile, Floyd's presence in camp changes the whole mood. You can feel it. The energy is different. He's walking around giving tips, reminding Tank to stay calm, stay smart, and do what he does best, break opponents down with timing and precision. Floyd keeps saying, size don't win fights. Skills do. And he's the living proof of that. He went through bigger men his whole career and made them miss all night. That's exactly the mindset he wants Tank to bring in.
Because he was talking about fighting Joshua, which is heavyweight, and now he's saying about fighting Tank. Nah, this can't be. It's Netflix as well. I need to go and do some checks and see if like the main pages have posted this, but Jake Paul's posted it. It says Friday, November 14th. It's in Atlanta.
It's strange seeing Floyd and Calvin working side by side again after everything that's gone down between Floyd and Tank in the past few years. But at the same time, it feels right. These are two men who both had a hand in building Tank into what he is now, a complete fighter with knockout power in both hands and the composure to carry it. They may have had their issues, but at the end of the day, it all circles back to respect and legacy. Floyd knows the kid he once mentored has turned into a full-blown superstar. And even though they bumped heads, he still wants to see him shine.
At Tank Davis or Jake Paul. So, immediately, yeah, the normal layman would say, oh, Tank Davis is better. But better at what? Is he better at selling tickets? Is he better at selling stadiums out? Is he better at creating controversy? Is he better at getting followed on Instagram? Is he better at putting more eyeballs on the boxing? Is he better than him at that? The answer would be no. But is he better at him in a fight? It has to be really, you have to break it down.
A lot of pros are starting to see exactly what Floyd and Calvin Ford are seeing. That yes, Jake Paul's size is a factor, but Gervonta Tank Davis is just the better fighter in every way that matters. The weight gap might look crazy on paper, but anyone who's spent time in a gym knows what happens when skill meets raw size with no real ring IQ behind it. And that's what everyone's looking at right now.
Fight, to be honest. Jake Paul has a lot of followings, a lot of guys that are going to come and watch, and that gives the opportunity for other fighters to be seen on those cards, you know. So a lot of people don't agree, but at the end of the day, for me, it's entertainment, and if we can take boxing to the next level and give other fighters opportunities to be displayed and for other people, YouTubers and all that, to be seen, and hopefully all the YouTubers and people there are just there.
Legendary trainer Teddy Atlas gave his take on the fight, and he didn't sugarcoat the difference. On his YouTube channel, Atlas pointed out that the first thing you notice when you see the two standing next to each other is the size. It was stark. He said the size difference was so big you couldn't ignore it. There's nearly 8 inches between them in height, and the reach gap is even worse. But Atlas hasn't said that automatically decides the fight. He acknowledged the talent gap, the experience gap, and the fact that Tank's ring IQ is on another level. If he hits him on the chin the way he can punch, Atlas said, Jake might be doing a dance.
He ain't gonna fight back. He said, so I said, you gotta take him serious. You get what I'm saying? Because he talked about, he had you on a hit list before this fight even happened. So his mental is on you. So you have to.
That's the part a lot of people keep circling back to. Jake's big, but Tank hits like a truck, not just with power, but with timing, placement, and accuracy. When you combine that with the fact that he's used to fighting faster, more polished guys than Jake, the physical disadvantage starts to look less dramatic. Atlas even reminds people that boxing history is full of examples where the smaller man handled the bigger one. That's been the sport forever. Size helps, but it's never been the deciding factor when skill and composure enter the ring.
A marketing genius, but when it comes to people that pick and lose fights, I can't get my head around it. If Tank hits him clean, he's going to sleep. He'll have a lot of smoke blowing up his backside by his coaching team and people like that, but when he gets hit, he'll be up 10 ounce. Well, I'm told it's 16 ounce gloves, not like an exhibition. Right. I'm told big gloves and head guard.
Still, there's a real discussion about whether the physical side could still cause problems. Jake Paul's a cruiserweight. He's used to throwing heavy, slow power shots. Tank, on the other hand, is used to angles, speed, and reading opponents who actually move. The two operate on different gears.
Call them boxers now. Talk about the Logan brothers.
I think it's okay to call Jake Paul a boxer. The only reason why I say that is because he do be in the gym. He's working on stuff. The fight that he fought Mike Tyson, I don't think he should have fought Mike Tyson. because of who Mike Tyson is and the age. And he said that he didn't try to knock him out. Yes, you did.
Atlas brought up old fights where smaller champions shocked bigger men, like Terence Crawford's performance against Canelo Alvarez. But he warned that Tank's situation is unique. This isn't a sanctioned title fight where weight classes protect balance. It's an exhibition. The whole setup changes the tone.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're gonna do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're gonna spot us some pounds. Tank has one job to do, that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skill, of which I am an abundance of and
The Florida Athletic Commission has also come out with all the details. 10 rounds, 3 minutes each, 12-ounce gloves, and knockouts are allowed, even though it won't count toward either fighter's record. They even confirmed the fight will be judged by 2 human judges and 1 AI system just to make it interesting. No official winner will be named, but the structure looks and feels just like a real fight. The only difference is that it's labeled exhibition for safety and regulation reasons. And that's part of why some fighters have mixed feelings.
Tank looked very uncomfortable facing off. He just did. I've seen other face-off this Tank done. He gets in their face and they're intense and he looks good. He looked very meager up there. You've had 8 fights and you're gonna go tangle with Tank Davis. And the story instantly comes out. Jake is so much bigger. There is such a compliment to Jake within that insult. It is meant.
The commission itself said it clearly, the match will be logged in the National Registry as an exhibition, and it will not count toward either athlete's professional record. But at the same time, knockouts and technical knockouts will end the fight just like a normal contest. So in reality, it's an exhibition only in paperwork. Once the bell rings, it's a real fight with real punches and real risk. Crawford said Jake's too big for Tank. Tank is very talented, can punch hard, and is explosive. But Jake can punch with that right hand. I've seen it up close and personal. And that's the thing. He's not doubting Tank's skill, but he's looking at physics. In his eyes, if Jake lands clean with all that extra weight behind him, it could end badly. Honestly, I think Jake wins by youth. Jake's just too big. Crawford said if they really go at it, he's just too big. Jake could land one good punch on Tank, and it's over with.
Paul versus Tank Davis, they just announced the fight. What's your instant reaction to that?
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in from that jab. Jake land one good punch on Tank, it's over with.
On the other hand, Amir Khan has gone the complete opposite way. He has straight up called the fight disgusting. He's worried that something could go wrong, that the weight difference is too much, and that even though it's an exhibition, the damage could be real. Khan said he fears a tragic outcome, which is extreme but understandable given how much Jake outweighs Tank. He's thinking from a safety point of view, not a promotional one.
No, in some things, I think Gervonta's just gonna stick and move. He'll be fast, play it smart, I don't see him staying still for too long so Jake can land some shots. He'll just try to touch him. Who knows, man? It's an exhibition. It's a money grab.
Meanwhile, most of the boxing world, especially those close to Tank, are standing by what Floyd and Calvin Ford have been saying all along: size doesn't win fights, skill does. Tank's got the timing, the precision, and the composure to handle bigger guys. He's done it in the gym plenty of times, and this time he's got Floyd Mayweather back in his corner to make sure everything's tight.
Look at this face-off, Henry. What are your thoughts?
You're hearing that shit from me. That's cringe. In some weird way, I kind of like
cringe about it.
He's trying to big man the smaller guy, who the smaller guy to me is dangerous. I think Tank Davis is going to put the hands on him, but I like it, bro. I will say something about Jake Paul. He's brought a lot of attention to boxing. Tank Davis guaranteed $40 million.
If you were in that position, would you fight Jake Paul?
Lamont Roach, on the other hand, has not held back when asked about Gervonta Davis skipping their rematch to take on Jake Paul instead. He's made it clear he's got no love left for Tank. In a recent interview with Ring Magazine, Roach was straight to the point, saying, "There's a lot of people I could care less about, and he's one of them, that's for sure." It's not the first time Roach has spoken about being frustrated with how things went after their last meeting, but this time he sounded done with it. Roach said what really got to him wasn't just Tank choosing another fight, it was the way he went about it. "He disrespected me," Roach said. "You might do some things that I could care less for, and he might do some things that I could care less for, but he actually disrespected me. Me personally, I don't do that. I don't play like that. So don't disrespect me, and I won't disrespect you." For Roach, it wasn't just about losing a rematch. It was about feeling like Tank brushed him off completely after they'd already gone through a tough, close fight.
Gone too far. Jake Paul is taking on Gervonta Tank Davis in an exhibition bout this November. The fight will be taking place in Atlanta between the cruiserweight and the 135-pounder. Nearly a 100-pound difference between the two guys. This is absolutely insane. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments down below.
And to be fair, Roach isn't wrong that the rematch made sense. Their first fight ended in a draw, and fans wanted to see them run it back. Instead, Tank jumped straight into the biggest money grab of the year, an exhibition against Jake Paul. That decision turned a lot of heads. Some understand it. Others, like Roach, see it as Tank choosing clout over closure.
What do you think of that?
I think that's terrible.
Why?
I mean, I get it, because at the end of the day, it's the money business, and you want to make the most money, but from what I'm hearing, he can make more money in a fight with me, and if that's the case, why not fight me?
Sure. Do you think he beats Jake Paul?
Do I think he beats Jake? Yeah. I mean,
It's a huge size advantage, though.
it is, but I think Tank got the skills to.
Hall of Famer Roy Jones Jr. gave his view and, as always, didn't mince words on all the smoke fight. Jones said he's actually interested in the fight because of what both guys bring. Now, to Tank's credit, he said, "I'm interested in the Tank versus Jake Paul exhibition because I know for a fact that if they do it for real, Tank is capable. Although he's small, he's capable of knocking Jake Paul out. Just like Jake Paul's probably capable of knocking him out because he's so much bigger." Roy's take sums up what most pros have been saying, size versus skill. He's not ruling out either man. Jake's size gives him the physical edge, but Tank's power and precision even the playing field. Jones has seen enough in his career to know that once the bell rings, anything can happen.
It's kind of weird, because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank. And I mean, but with it being a exhibition, it makes sense. It's fine. He got a big name that he's going to be fighting. But I mean, it really makes no sense because he weighs.
Ryan Garcia, on the other hand, doesn't even think the fight's real. The former opponent, whom Tank stopped in 7 rounds back in April 2023, went online to say he doubts it'll ever happen. "I strongly doubt this happens," Garcia posted. "No way Gervonta accepted 195 pounds. Gervonta is already small naturally, and you really think he will decide to balloon up to 195 pounds? You got to be delusional to think this is gonna happen."
Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis. I know on Instagram you call it a circus.
Yeah, boxing is slowly turning into the WWE. That's what I think.
Does Tank Davis have a chance?
Yes, but
yeah?
I don't even want to talk about it. Don't ask me questions like that again.
Garcia's been in there with Tank. He knows how compact and disciplined he is about his size. The idea of Tank walking around anywhere near 190 pounds sounds ridiculous to him. But then Garcia switched gears, almost contradicting himself in the same breath. "By the way," he added, "if the fight does happen, I'd bet on the heavyweight." That one line says a lot about how even some fighters don't really know what to make of this matchup. Well, what do you think about the fight? And do you see Tank getting an advantage from training with Floyd? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more updates.